The Hotel Artemis, starring Jodie Foster, Sophia Bertella, Dave Bautista, Sterling K. Brown, and Jeff by God Goldblum. He's good. I like Jeff Goldblum and just about everything he does, all the way back from 10 Speed and Brown Shoe to Guardians of the Thor Ragnarok. This is an interesting concept. It takes me back to like John Wick, when they have the hotel where the criminals can go and they can get taken care of and seen and stuff, and there's like no violence allowed in there and everything. That's essentially what this movie is. The Hotel Artemis is a similar thing. You're a criminal, you can go there, you can get be seen by the doctors or whatever, and it's supposed to be a safe place. I stayed in movies all the way until they sweep the floors, and it didn't seem, there was no big Easter egg. There's a little slight thing, but there's no real hint of another movie. So this is like a one shot. Like they said, hey, it'd be a cool idea. Let's put all these guys together and do this, and they did it. Unfortunately, there's no real character development. I mean, there's a lot of characters in there that seem to have interesting stories, but they don't go into any depth with any of them. They skip a lot of stuff, and it seems like the movie was rushed. It seems like it should have been like an hour longer so they could tell you about all of these interesting characters. There's story arcs in the story that they don't touch on. I mean, there's the pen that is a part of the problem. They don't really go into any depth on that. There's a love story intertwined in there. They don't give you any backstory to tell you what's going on with these two. There's a revenge story. They let you know that these two people don't like each other, and that's pretty much it. There's two people that apparently were partners previous to the movie, and they just hint about it, and then they leave it alone. There's a part where they say you made the arrangement with the devil, but what was the arrangement? I mean, I get it had something to do with the hotel, but what was it exactly? I don't know. There's a change that's going to happen in the mob where somebody else is going to take over, but they don't really say if it happened, and they don't really tell you exactly why it's going to. They don't want any detail. They mention the mother as if she is, a terror, even more so than the people who are the antagonists in the movie. But then that's it. They don't mention her again. They don't show her. They don't talk about her. There's no backstory on it. Everest, Dave Bautista, Everest as in like Mount Everest, he's huge. Everest and the nurse, they've got a story, not like a love interest story, but almost like a mother-son type deal. But they don't go into that. They say, I've been with you since I was little, but then they don't say anything else. You're skipping all of the good stuff. It was just like somebody started to write a story, they got bored and said, let's just conclude it. And they skipped all of the things that make the story connect. So basically what happens is these guys are going to rob a bank, and a couple of them get shot. They need to get off the street because there's a riot going on. So they go to the Hotel Artemis. Unfortunately for them, they're criminals, but there's worse criminals there, and there's even worse criminals coming. So it reminded me a lot of The Hateful Eight, where all of these dangerous people are forced to be in this one place, and things start to happen. That's what this is essentially. All of these people, due to circumstances, are forced to be in the Hotel Artemis. Each one of them is dangerous, bad dude or dudette, and they're forced to spend time together. And it of course it explodes. It turns into a thing. But it was such a good concept, and they didn't really touch on a lot of things, and they didn't really set it up for a part 2. So I don't know what the purpose was. But I'll tell you what, I give this movie 6 bags of popcorn. It was almost a 5, but you got Jodie Foster and Jeff Goldblum. You can't give a movie with Jodie Foster and Jeff Goldblum a 5, but it was close. But that's my thought. Have you seen the movie? What do you think about it? Did it make a lot of sense to you? Did you dig it? Did you not dig it? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you like the video, if you like the content, and subscribe. And like.
Popcorn passport. Get your popcorn passport.